So, welcome here. This is Cosmic Strategies number 10, and I will talk about the app. And if you see here now, it's like Western Tropical Astrology. What is all of this about? It's about, I'm an astrologer, and I will show you by the end, close to the end, I will show you the chart of this app and a little what I think about it and how I see it. So I do Western Tropical Astrology, and I use the whole house system. And Western Tropical Astrology is based on the seasons. So there are different kinds of astrology, and they all work. And for thousands of years, humanity has looked into the skies and have realized that there's something going on there that's actually correlating with what's happening here. Liz Karing, hello, I'm so happy you're here. This is lovely. Thank you very much for being present with me. So I turned astrologer about 4 years ago, and I used the whole house system. There are like over 30 different house systems, and this is the one I use, which means it's one sign per house. And we're not going to go into any technicalities, I'm just saying this. And I use a mix of ancient and modern techniques. If you want to work with me as an astrologer, I'm here, send me a DM. But that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about apps. And if you didn't know, there are 6 million apps out there on Google Play and on the App Store, which is like, how do you handle that? And that's a great question, because it is like the Milky Way of apps. It's enormous. And once in a while you see like a big player, like a big planet, and then you see like little stars or shooting stars, and they come, they go. But most of it is just out there, and it's like the Milky Way, and you have no idea what's going on. And I'm sure that you have quite a lot of apps on your mobile phone that you never use. But the real sad thing is that 5 out of 6 apps get 0 downloads. Zilch, nada, nobody. And one of the reasons, of course, is that people think that the app is going to do it for them. And nothing there is no free lunch. You have to market, you have to tell people about it, and you also have to make people comfortable with whatever it is that you want your app to provide to your audience. So that means that 5 million created apps are never downloaded. I am proud to say that 4 weeks into this app, I have 30 downloads, and I haven't done much yet. I will do a lot. And I expect this app to be something that people will like and enjoy and use. And this is a little introduction to this, how you can use it and why you should use it. Thank you, Janine. It looks great. Yes, I'm very pleased, I must say, with the aesthetics. And I got someone wrote to me on Instagram who had downloaded it, and she said it was one of the most aesthetically pleasing apps she had seen. It was like, what? And in this category, I mean, they're like different kinds of apps, of course, but in this particular category, where I'm at. So that was lovely. Now, let's take a look at this. First, I want to say, in general, when you do anything online, when it comes to marketing or whatever it is, that you better be different. And if you have this kind of competition, like 6 million apps, I better be different. I better be Uranian. And Uranus, this planet here, it doesn't circle like this. No, it spins like this. Completely different to all the other planets. So to be a little different, or quite different, I decided to go with this, which is a book that I just reread. And I got it from a client of mine, or a guest of mine rather, when I was an Airbnb host. I was an Airbnb host in my home for 3 years. I had over 800 guests come and visit me. If that doesn't make you tired in the long run, the guests were great, but it's a lot of people and a lot of social stamina that you need to have when you meet so many people. Anyways, I want to be a good host, because I became a 5-star superhost, and I stayed 5-star superhost for 3 years. I want to be a good host on my app, and I think that is one of the things that will make me different on my app, the Cosmic Strategies. So here it goes, and the reason I have all these little circles is because I cannot use my cursor here, so you will not be able to see what's going on. So I have to always like verbally tell you what's happening. So Up to the left, when you log in and you download it, up to the left you see there is a hamburger stack, and when you click on that, you will get to the display that you see to the right. This is what you see when you first come in, and it says topics, and it says blog posts, and then you see on the right side it says topics, and it says cosmic updates. Don't ask me why this is a technical thing, because it's a platform that I don't steer. I steer the content, but certain things I can't do anything about. So why it says blog posts here, I don't know, but it does. It means cosmic updates. And here I will eventually get more into writing posts about what is happening in the skies and in the universe, and what kind of messages and how we can use the energies. And that will correlate with my newsletter here on LinkedIn that I call Next Week in the Skies. So all of these things will eventually come together. But I am one single woman, as many of you are that are going to listen to this. And you know how it is when you have one project, and this has been taking up so much time and so much work and so much brain space that some things are still behind, but I am working on it. So this is good to know. So when you register and log in, up to the right you see this says register login. You provide a good email and your password that you want to use for this. So this is the first step. Next step is toggle push notifications. So when I do updates, for instance, for the cosmic updates, you will get information. Or when I add certain things, you will get information right away, and you can look at it. Because the next thing, apart from people not downloading it, is that very few people look at the app that they have downloaded more than once. They download it and that's it. And one of the reasons they don't download it, they don't look at it, is because it's complicated. And this is one of the things that I want to mitigate with this presentation, to make it like easier to understand. Because a lot of apps have things that you need to understand and know first, and you don't have the time to learn about it. So you just see, oh, this looks interesting, and then you push it aside. I have apps like that on my mobile unit, and I bet you too. So this is one way of staying updated. It's just make sure you have the push notifications. You can log out, and when you log out and log in, your information will be there. And of course, if you feel like, oh, this was like the most I don't need this. Why is this even part of my life? You can delete the account, and that is it. One thing that I do recommend is that you add your own personal portrait. One technical thing is that when you log out and log back in, your portrait will disappear. So I always have to push mine back on, because when you have your portrait, it doesn't matter where you are, if it's here or if it's in any place where you are active. When you add your own image, own portrait, and you see yourself there, you become part of it. You feel much more connected to whatever it is. And so that is my suggestion, is that you add your own portrait so you can feel the connections, so that it's really possible to create a real community around this. So if you haven't downloaded the app yet, you see what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get the app. Bring out your mobile unit and get the app. If you're watching this on a computer. Now, this is when you have entered and you're on the inside. You added your email, your password, you toggled, and your portrait. So up to the left, it's still the same. When you push that, you will see topics and cosmic updates. And now it's not called blog posts, it's called cosmic updates. And technical. But this is the same. So if you push, I can choose what I want to be on the first page. So I have chosen topics, and I have chosen cosmic updates. And you can see that those are exactly the same. So it doesn't matter where you click on topics here or on the blue display, it's the same. Now, when you are inside and you have created your own account, you can download my free gift, which is 3 sun sign tips. Most people know their sun sign. And if you're adopted, that might be difficult, and there can be other circumstances depending on where you are in the world. But most people know their sun sign. Sometimes when you want exactly on what is called the cusp, you might not know, and then you might need help from an astrologer or like ask someone. So I have an acquaintance here in Malmö, and she said, "Well, I'm a Gemini," and I was like, I doubt it. And I said, but I'm like, I'm born on this and that day, and so it's like Cancer, and I was like, mm-hmm. I don't know her birth data, but I think she's a Cancer. So download that. You just click on that red button. Let's call it a button. And you will get to the point. When you're on the mobile unit, it can take a little time. Sometimes this display gets all white, and then you just have to like not reignite. Push it again, and it will come up eventually, and you can download it. I have put 2 arrows: podcasts and courses. And when you click on podcast, you will get to one podcast as it is as of now, and that is Silicon Curtain, which is a podcast about Ukraine and the horrible war, but also about the history, like 1,000 years ago, philosophy, culture, military, politics, and all kinds of things that have to do with this. So there are experts from all over the place: South Africa, Sweden, France, the US, Denmark, Russia, Ukraine. It's an amazing podcast, over 400 issues right now, and I have learned so much about this. So I contacted him and said, "Do you mind if I add it to my woo-woo place in my new home online?" And he just laughed and said, "Go right ahead. I'm happy just anyone listen." He has almost 100,000 subscribers online, and I was very, very early, so I'm proud of being a supporter of that. If you feel like, I don't like that, I don't like politics, and that politics is always going to be interested in you, let me tell you. But if you feel like this is not my thing, I'm not going to talk about politics, but I just wanted to give him some space here. Then this is not for you, and I'm not for you. So that is the podcast. And there will be more podcasts, because I have been a guest on several podcasts, and I can add them to the app with the RSS feed, which is great. So there will be certain circumstances for that. I'm just not adding. I want to be a guest, and it has to be good for my crown, for those of you that decide that, I want to be part of Cosmic Strategies. So there will be more podcasts, but they will come later on. Also, I have courses. I have the class of Vintage Mastery that is starting again on the 15th of July. And you can then watch them on or take part on the app, and you can also take part online. So that is something that is really beautiful about this platform, is that it has a companion site online. And for me, when I do a course, I feel it's more convenient to look on a screen, a bigger screen, but it's really practical that you can bring things with you and listen and watch if there are videos also when you're moving around. So those, and then there will be more, but I'm not going to tell you everything. Thank you, Beth Ann. Yes, I happen to agree. It is a very, very good class, and people don't understand what they're getting. So another one of the participants said, you under promised and over delivered, and I don't know how to tell people what is here, because it's so much more than about clothing and how to dress and use secondhand shopping. So that was a plug for that. Go get it. Yeah, contact me, and it's I must say it's a really good class. Thank you, Betha. Let's go to the next one. So when you click on content topics, you will get this kind of display when you're on the app, and this red arrow to the left is pointing to another little arrow, and when you click that little arrow, you will get I decided to take like astrology and tarot, and there you will see what is under that title. So there are videos, there are articles, there are questions, and there are blog posts or cosmic updates. So On the other subjects that I have here, like the guidance around cosmic strategies, there I will probably like upload this here or something like this, so it will be easy for people that come along to understand how it works. And there you can also see how you can create shortcuts to topics that are for you, because some people will be interested in astrology, and some people will be more interested and really like my evergreen musings, which are 10 to 30 minute videos where I talk about something, and those are old musings that I did on Facebook. Some of them are even 10 years old, but the thing is, if content is good, it's good. We still read Shakespeare, we still listen to Mozart, and we still watch Leonardo da Vinci and his paintings, sculpture from all over the place, timeless. So, and I want to say that to you, if you are a content creator, reuse what you have if it's good and if it's still valid. There's no reason to recreate all the time. There's this, you have to like recreate. So I will upload all kinds of things here that I have done before and that I'm doing now. And I also want to tell you that I will do certain things in Swedish because I am bilingual, and I live in Sweden and I have Swedish clients too. So right now, the tapping and EFT, I have I think 6 videos on using and how to do tapping and EFT. And those are right now in Swedish. I have English ones too, and they will come up eventually, but as I said, I'm one person. So those videos right now are all in Swedish. So when you go there, before you become a member, you have access to 2, and then when you become a member, you will have another 4. So that is basically what you can see here, and I want you to get a first feel of how to make yourself comfortable here. Because when you first log in, it's like, oh my God, there's just some information, I better leave. I don't want you to leave, I want you to stay and take part, because there will be a lot of good and interesting things that will help propel you forward and inspire you in several ways. Now, let's move over to the site, the web page that is pretty close, but not exactly. For instance, if you see the red arrow there, it says courses. There will be courses, and as I said, it's more practical for me, at least, to watch them online. But there's no RSS feed for podcasts. That's the way it goes. You create your email and password and sign up to the right. And this is really important. You got to use the same email and the same password. That way you can log in from both places, no problem. It's seamless. But if you use another one, and let's say you did buy Classic Vintage Mastery, you will not be able to reach it from that other place. And also, it's confusing, just in general. I mean, the online world is confusing enough. You just use the same email and password. And here you cannot add your portrait. Don't ask me why, but that's how it works. So to get there, you can use stellascott.com/cs-web, and that will take you to the web page. Now, if you click on topics when you're there, you get to this kind of display, which is different. You know, it was like this on the app, but here it goes like that instead. And if you use the same place, astrology and tarot, as I pointed to here, you will see this image. And here it's called Cosmic Updates, and it's the blog posts. It's confusing, but bear with me, or bear with the site. It is the same thing here too. Now it says featured here, so I am now rearranging some things, but as of now you can see that some posts are like featured. They're like the first ones that you will see. But there will be articles and videos and Q&As and cosmic updates, just as it was or is on the app that you have on your mobile unit. When you're on the app, if you have not had the time to find an image that I think is good and representative of the topic that is going on, you will always see the logo for the app, which is Cosmic Strategies, the blue one there. But when you're online, you will have this sort of ugly gray thing that I have circled there. And the only reason it's there online is because I have not had the time to get something that is more attractive. But so I just cut this out. So there are more things coming here. And perhaps you like come in and you see something here now, and then you come in a week later and then it has been moved, or it's not there, or it's like, so I might be moving things around. This is an introduction, and I am really working. This is really, it's a newborn baby. So it will be growing and changing. Here is my my chart, or the chart for the Cosmic Strategies app. This is when I got the mail from Apple. It was on the 6th of June 2024. It was a Thursday, and it was at what does it say? I'm not wearing my glasses. There, 09:49. Whenever you do something or have something going on, you can create a electional chart. So is this a good time to do it? Is this a bad time to do it? I'm not a specialist in electional charts, and I check out, but I had no choice here. They just sent me, because it was sent to them, and then I had to wait to see when is it being born, when is it going live. And this is when it was going live, and I was just about flabbergasted. It was like, oh my God, thank you, who did this to me? I'm so happy. So this is an entity of itself. This is not my chart. This is not Stella. And if you launch something, like if you want to launch a course, or if you want to launch an app, or if you want to launch a new website or something, it's good to have certain parameters and see, is it better to do it here and there? 2 days later, 1 week later, it actually does make a difference. And I was so happy that the moon was not void of course, which means that the moon doesn't relate to any other planets. It's not that it's like going out in another direction when it says it's called a void of course. It's that it's not in relationship with any other planets. But as you can see here, there's a lot of relationship. So there's a stellium. There are 5 planets in Gemini, and I have my personal Sun and Mercury in Gemini. I did not add my own chart here because I don't want to confuse you too much. But in the 11th house, it's the house of visionaries, of visions, of connections, of networking. It's the house of the internet. In many ways, it's how do I get out there? And Mercury is ruling Gemini, which is really good. And Mercury is curious, talkative, and everything. And it's close to the new moon. So this is really, it's a birth of some sort. It's the birth of this app. And you can see like the blue lines that are all going up to this new moon. So I really feel that this is a new adventure, and I have to take advantage of this newness and use it, because the new energy wants to go out into the world and create and innovate and be innovative. So this feels great. So there's a lot more things to say there. But what I also have is Saturn. I didn't put a circle on it, but Saturn is like in the blue house to the right in Pisces. And that's a square, and the square goes more or less directly towards that new moon. So that is also like, there can be like restrictions. Saturn is the ruler of my personal chart, and Saturn is also, it's a stern teacher. So it's not like, oh, farting rainbows. It's also like, okay, do this in a constructive, restrictive way at times when it's necessary. I'm going to stop there, but it's for me, as I see it, it's a very good and energetic chart that has a lot of momentum going through that new moon. At the same time, as I have to keep an eye on where can I run into things that are restrictive, so I have like an open eye for that, and don't like pretend that there might not be any problems coming up, because we all know it. There will always be like challenges. So that's the chart, and I encourage you to, when you are doing something, to check out, is this a good time? Especially this thing with the moon void, of course, to just know that. And that can be, sometimes the moon is void, of course, for like 17 minutes or 3 minutes, and sometimes the moon is void, of course, for like 18 hours or 30 hours or even longer. So that is something that is good to know when you initiate something, because what they say is, when the moon is void, of course, it will come to nothing, because there are no relationships, and the moon is so important. It's both physically and emotionally. It's a very, very important player when you're going to do things. So, what about the future? Well, I have some ideas. I want to add a topic that has to do with hidden women. And when I say hidden women, I mean hidden, and not just forgotten, that people say sometimes. Because there have been a lot of women that have been very successful during their times, like painters and composers, that were superbly successful while they were alive, but as soon as they were put into a coffin, they were put away. So there's a lot of hidden history that I am very interested in, and I had everything was hacked some years ago. That can make you exhausted too, apart from having 800 guests in your home. And I had a site that called Human Rights Recitals, where I brought up some of these issues. So I have some material. Most of it just disappeared, but I have a lot of women that I would like to lift up that we never talk about. I will also have guest contributors, and I have already been in contact with 2 awesome women. One of them is Beth Ann Campbell. Connect with her whenever you have the chance. And to contribute to the site with articles and ideas, and that we will cross-pollinate. I will add podcasts, as I mentioned before. I will probably also add more courses, but I don't know exactly what there will be. I have a course on sleep deprivation for people with chronic sleep disorders. I have done it in Swedish since 2015, but I'm going to both add it as a Swedish course and create the English version, which hasn't been done yet. And I will also have expert profiles on it, so it's not only going to be about me, but eventually that will take a little more time. And what else is possible? Yes, Beth. What else is possible here? So if you have ideas and thoughts, I want you to go in there, enjoy, roam around, and DM me if you have questions, and if you have suggestions, and if it's something that you are thinking of that you think, I would like to contribute. Then we can have a chat and see if that is if we are a good match. I'm absolutely open to that, and there are certain things, certain requirements for that, but I'm open to talking about things, and of course it has to be congruent with my values, which is why I mentioned the silicon curtain. It has to be congruent with my values, but also with what am I offering, and what do I want to offer to my audience, and what do they expect from me, and what they expect from me is also what they were going to expect from you in that case. So thank you, Janine. Yes, and we will talk soon. Absolutely. So this was it for today. I am gonna add. Let's see if that worked. No, it didn't. Yes, it did. Here we go. I'm adding how to download the app from the App Store, and from if you go into Apple, you just say Cosmic S and Cosmic Strategies comes up right away. But if you go to Google Play, it doesn't show. So there you need to have the exact, or use the QR code. That way you will get there. Or if you go online and you will write Cosmic Strategies, nothing will happen. So you need you need that link. All right, my friends. Thank you so much for being here. If you come afterwards, thank you for taking yourself all the way to the end. And as I said, I'm open for questions, I'm open for suggestions, and I wish you a glorious day. Bye for now.